Hello, folks. We are back, Sir Waltham and Amintus here. We've missed you, and more importantly, perhaps, we've missed some great Overwatch Open Division. We are here in our finals for NA Antiku versus Red Bird Esports. Amintus, go ahead and give us a little bit of a walkthrough of what we can expect today.
Well, there's a lot to cover, but fortunately, I've got the Spark Notes for you guys. We'll start with ISU Redbirds, aka Redbird Esports. So this is the esports program at ISU. They are a college, so this is the collegiate team. They just recently picked up a lot of different components, half of it dark mode, half of it American Tornado. All six of them are very talented players in their own right. They have a very long competitive history at a tier 2 level, and I'm fully expecting them to put on a fantastic show for us today because they're coming into this basically after giving up a contender spot when American Tornado disbanded. So they decided, okay, we have this one. Let's just go into open division and destroy everybody. So clearly they have something to prove, and they want to show everyone that they are the best team in OD this season so far. And I mean, they have yet to really run into any competition here besides Antiku, who they already beat 3-1 in the winners bracket already.
Yeah, it's definitely something we're going to have to keep eyes on for their opponents. As you mentioned, it is going to be Antiku. I've gone under a couple of different names throughout the course of Open Division and throughout the course of the last couple of months, but Antiku is going to be the name that a lot of people will recognize them from. I know myself. I recognize them from the November trials. So a lot of familiar names on here. Vega, Pascal, a lot of support play I expect to be coming into effect between these two teams. Some I gotta love. There's this saying that goes, if you're not saying the support's names, they're usually doing their job. But here they're doing a great job and they're still making huge impressions.
Oh, yes, they are. I'd say Vega and Pascal, bit of an underrated backline for Antiku. Lots of people maybe not estimating them properly. I think they're very capable in their own right. And on the other side, we have more bloodthirsty supports. Shout out to Doa, Ultraviolet, and Luke Mino. And Luke Mino actually just recently swapped from flex support to main support. Pretty recently. He's had a couple of months now to prep and get ready to play at a higher level on that role. And I'm from what I've seen so far, his gameplay seems to be pretty stellar already. So props to him for coming off of a role swap and already showing a lot of dominance in the role.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a huge look for the support lines of both these teams. But I want to do a little bit of looking towards the DPS, and I want to look particularly at Antiku because we mentioned that, largely the same roster for, months and months and months. One thing that might change that up, Paolumu not as entrenched within that roster as historically the other members have been. And so far, it's been interesting to see how that DPS dynamic kind of changes up the look of Antiku as a whole.
I have to agree, mainly because of the fact that if you think about what experience really defines for a team, a lot of it is just getting comfortable and trusting everybody around you to play at their best level. So coming into this 5-man squad that previously played in November trials, maybe they don't have full trust in him, regardless of how the players feel. I fully expect Paolumu to perform, just given what we saw in the previous matchup between Redbird and Antiku in the winners bracket. So even though they might not have full synergy just yet, they've had some experience playing together in the past. I believe it was Vega and Paolumu that were actually on Wisp, fun fact, in this most recent season of Contenders. So they've got that synergy between the two of them. Nonetheless, I think Antiku is coming into this match with a lot to prove, just because of the fact that everybody is looking at Redbird Esports and kind of expecting them to dominate. So now is the final chance for Antiku to prove that, hey, we can hang too.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, Amintus. And I mean, even the scoreboard showing a little bit of bias to Redbird Esports here, as we're already seeing at the top of the scoreboard there. Redbird Esports, since they're coming off the winners bracket, they are going to have an extra map point in their pocket already before any maps have even dropped. But as we do look ahead towards what kind of maps we can see, we are going to be starting off with the standard control. You can see right there, it is going to be Oasis. And then beyond that, we'll start to see the normal rotation. We would call it normal rotation of Escort, Hybrid, Assault, Control. Since this is a best of 7 or first to 4, if you prefer, we're going to be seeing that map selection basically rotate. So once you hit the Control, we'll be going into Escort and Hybrid once again, if it's necessary for us to go beyond those 5 maps.
Exactly. I don't really think that this series is going to go the full distance just because of the fact that Redbird, Basically everybody on that roster has experience playing in best of seven formats, reaching the finals of contenders repeatedly. And everybody that played on American Tornado has done this song and dance before. They've gotten the map advantage before. And they really know how to have that stamina to go for longer than just a best of five series might allow for. So if things go the distance, Redbird has the advantage there as well. Whereas Antiku coming in, they're already kind of shot in the foot being down a map. They've got an uphill battle as well as all of these other circumstances we've described. I mean, it's going to be rough, but I'm really rooting for them because if they can beat Redbird Esports, this is going to shake up a lot of what everybody's perception of Trials is going to be like.
Yeah, I mean, a very Promethean task. You're having to roll a giant boulder uphill and then also being shot in the foot as well as just a little bit of salt in that wound. But Amintus, we are still waiting on these teams to get together to get into lobby so we can get the action started, folks. We're going to be taking a quick break just to make sure we get everything settled for you folks. Get right into the action as soon as we are available. So stick around with Antiku versus Redbird Esports. And we are here, folks. And I wish I could tell you that this was just a little joke, a little pre-match warm-up, but it is unfortunately not. Dusk with the massive task of having to literally carry Antiku 6v1 as we look towards Oasis. This is rough looking.
I'm going to be completely honest here, Walton. I was talking to a couple of the members of Antiku going into today's match, and one of the quotables that their players gave me was, Dusk told everyone to trust in him and that he could do it all. And I don't know if he meant that literally as in I'm going to 1v6 against Redbird Esports because, I'm not surprised he's looking into traffic here. There's not a lot of other things you can really do in this scenario.
I mean, if you're really confident in Redbird Esports, I mean, what could Dusk possibly do, right? You know that nobody's at that spawn. They have to push towards that center objective, but it's so difficult. As that Sombra, you just get uncloaked, and so far not taking an immediate death, able to translocate out without dropping too early.
So let's talk through the mind games here. If you are Dusk and you are waiting for the rest of your team to wake up just to play this match, realistically, the best option for you is to just buy as much time in the match. Stand on the objective in overtime, burn as much wick as possible, because up until everybody gets back, there's nothing you can do in this map alone, since nobody can rejoin in the middle of it. And you can already see Dusk is racking his brain trying to figure out how he can stall time until people actually get here. And I don't blame him. What could you really do?
It's very tough, but we talk about playing the long game. This is one of the very few instances where this is the longest game you can play, just trying to not even win it for this map where, Overwatch, you don't really get too much benefit going from map to map. But in this instance, all the time that Dusk buys might be a little bit more valuable.
Only problem is I don't think he's going to be able to flip the objective because they are 6 strong and you only have 1. So again, it's really just about waiting for overtime to proc just to have a chance at burning some more time off the clock. In the meanwhile, Redbird Esports, recognizing the conditions of this map, have decided to switch up some of their roles. You've got Frill, aka Lina, on the soldier there, just watching from both angles. A hack comes out late onto ball, but I mean, we can't really cast any of this, can we? It's just I'm just watching the train wreck in live time. I
mean, legally speaking, what Luke Mito's doing is probably an 18+ stream, so I don't think we can count for any of that at all. But I just want to say, we talked about the supports being the most bloodthirsty of the 2 deaths. The support's gotten at least one of them. I mean, Dusk is proving us right even when they're not there. And I mean, the cars are raking up kills right now. The car's most lethal player in the game.
Dusk has to use these cars to his advantage. I think wait for a couple more people to jump off the map and then surprise everybody while standing on the objective with the last seconds remaining. He's just trying to buy as much time as possible, drops the EMP, lives for about an extra half a second, and then goes down. So this is adding about 15 more seconds for people to wake up on Antiku and actually play the game, because let's be honest here, the reason why we're all watching and why I'm casting is to watch Overwatch, and this is not Overwatch.
Yeah, at best, this is hide and seek. I don't know if there's ever been like a Twitch hide and seek stream, but at current, this might be the most populated one.
I have to agree. Maybe we can get the first ever OD hide and seek match ever played. If there's not too much else to play for here, I guess might as well have a little bit of fun with it. But what can Redbirds do here, right? Obviously, on the team that has 6 players that show up, and naturally you want to have a competitive match, but also at the same time you're kind of disincentivized from taking things seriously or even giving the other team time, since they didn't show up. They don't really deserve any second chances here, so to speak. Right. So they're going to capture all these points. They're going to get this over with as quickly as possible. They're going to take as many maps as they have to, and there's really no problem with that. I think Antiku should have just shown up to play the game. There's not much else to talk about here.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be too many people who disagree with you on that one, Amintus. But right now I want to talk about kind of the counter stall strategy coming out of Redbirds. They throw in that Torbjorn to make sure that if that Sombra comes, it's going to be continually peppered. They bring out the Mei, Dusk rather brings out the Mei, so it's not going to be as huge a factor. Still contesting a lot of time. Use that Mei well early so they can't quite get too much, but immediately boot it off.
Yeah, smart choice from Redbirds to go for the environmental selections. You got the Lucio Ball. Once he comes out of Ice Block, you don't even need to kill him. You just push him off the map. Does buy a little bit of time, though. So, how was your day? You had a good day so far? Obviously, we just woke up. I'm glad to be, casting with you in the booth here. But overall, how was your day so far?
So far, it's been pretty good. Waiting a long time. It felt like a long time, right, to get into these open division games. I've been excited about casting them all day, and it looks like my waiting will have to continue just a little bit here. What about yourself?
I have to agree. I'm a little disappointed, to be honest. I was really looking forward to getting into open division finals as a up and coming caster, just practicing my game. This was a huge opportunity for me, so just being here is an honor. But clearly, the five players of Antiku not on the same page. Nonetheless, we're just waiting for some more people to wake up. For those that are just joining, Antiku does not have a starting six. The only person that showed up at the beginning was Dusk, and he is sitting in stealth on Sombra.
Yeah, and if we were talking about that, that whole buy out as much time as you can kind of gameplay, I'm surprised Dusk didn't stick out on the Mei, right? They were already halfway to Blizzard by the time they ended that first fight. Could have built up another one, locked everybody down, or at least done a little bit of zoning, but right now they're just, I guess, having a little bit of fun with it. Open Division's a weird time to, try to play for fun, but I guess when you're down 1v6, there's not much else to really go off of.
Yeah.
Speaking of fun, Iron's just been here playing the swing game. I don't know. I feel like there's a fun name for it that I can't come up with. And Ultraviolet's done more damage to themselves than Sombra ever could have.
Dusk, come on, man! You broke the unspoken rule. You're not supposed to kill anybody when you're 1v6. This is a fun time for us. Nonetheless, Iron just running laps on that center pole there. It doesn't even touch time to proc for the overtime, and we're going to give a second free map over to Redbird Esports due to the fact that some people just decided to sleep in today. So yeah, hopefully people start to wake up soon. I would really love to cast some Overwatch. I'm sure Walton would as well, and everybody else watching wants to watch some actual gameplay. Nonetheless, you can see the play of the game here. This was the one kill that happened.
It was the one environmental kill, that is for sure. I believe we got the
oh yeah, that's right. He did kill that Sigma.
Yeah.
So I do believe we actually have a couple more players in the lobby now. It's just one of them is still missing for Antiku, and obviously in any other circumstance, Antiku would have had to forfeit this map anyways. So in reality, this is really just buying more time for the rest of Antiku to wake up, and eventually we are going to get some actual Overwatch on our hands, but only time will tell.
Yeah, and there's a saying, right, where tank players buy space. But this is one of the rare times where tank players are actually able to buy time for their team, right? Dusk, of course, on that tank role, typically, but right now just kind of playing those little bit stallier characters, or in this case, I guess, Sombra, which, usually see that in that instance. But either way, that's just how it tends to go sometimes.
And we have an update from production. Antiku did forfeit this match, so Redbirds Esports walking away with the clean 4-0. To be honest, I am really sad because I really wanted to cast Open Division Finals, but what can you do at the end of the day, right? I'm just here trying to do my thing. Everybody else is too. But at the end of the day, I don't think there was any stakes in this match to begin with, right? Both of these teams made trials. There was really nothing else to play for besides the additional $500 from making first place. And I'm not trying to give people the benefit of the doubt or excuse any of this dumb behavior, but nonetheless, that's going to do it for us.
Now, unfortunately, we will be closing out the cast quite earlier than we had expected. But for those of you who had tuned in, go ahead and give Antiku a little friendly ribbing on Twitter. Teach them perhaps a lesson in sportsmanship for Redbirds. Not Dusk definitely here and ready for attendance, but for Sir Waltham and Amintus, we have been casting this perhaps most short final in Open Division. We appreciate you guys tuning in. But until next time, stay safe and take care, everybody.